guys, and welcome back once again to the Coffee and Hero Show. Back this week after last week's hiatus. We didn't get a chance to record anything last week simply because we've been getting used to deliveries arriving on a Monday. It gives us plenty of time to process it, bag and board it, organize, etc, etc. But last week, I should say, our delivery didn't arrive until 3 p.m. on the Tuesday, so it was very much an all systems go kind of thing. But we had everything ready to go 100%, just didn't have time to record stuff. But delighted to say delivery back on a Monday this week, and therefore I've got the time to share with you guys all the cool stuff that's coming out. So again, this is going to be the pull list video. You can find the what's new in this week video elsewhere on the network, certainly showing off the graphic novels and so forth, lots of cool stuff. But I'm just going to be showing off the things that I'm looking forward to this week. Again, as ever, there's more releases beyond this. It's just this is the stuff I'm most excited for this week. So I'm actually going to kick it off with a little bit of merchandise because I've been waiting on this for ages. I've been collecting sporadically the McFarlane Toys figures. I've been collecting the White Knight stuff, the Death Metal stuff, Batman Last Night on Earth. But this is the Bat Cycle from White Knight. So I've already got the White Knight Batman figure, the Joker figure. We've got those in store as well. But this is the Bat Cycle from White Knight, and this will fit with the previous figure released for Batman as well. So this is going to look awesome next to my Death Metal cycle that I have as well, which is like an amazing Batman design. And this one's just as good, really solid, brilliant figure, coming in at around 25 quid, so you can't say fairer than that. So yeah, that's the first thing I just wanted to show off. I don't usually show off merch so much, but I've been looking forward to that one for a while. A couple of trades this week for myself anyway. So you've got the deluxe edition of the Umbrella Academy, You Look Like Death. So essentially this is volume 4 of the Umbrella Academy, which is interesting because they have it up here as 00.004, making you think it's the 4th volume. But on the side it says volume 1. So whether this is going to be the spin-off Tales from the Umbrella Academy, You Look Like Death, and it's starting new volumes, we'll see. But I love these editions, and the artwork always sings in these bigger editions as well. Also for myself is the Gideon Falls book one. We got it back in stock now. We only got a couple of copies in initially. We were just waiting on restocks, but they've now come back in. I should say, obviously, coming up to Halloween and so forth, this is a great horror-based book for the horror fan in your life. This is the first 14 issues, so the first half of Gideon Falls, and then the second volume will not be too far behind on that. So those are both for myself, but moving on now to the single issue. So let's grab these out here and see if they actually pile nicely for me. Based on the plastic, you never quite know. But anyway, we're going to kick things off with it. This should have been out last week. It was out last week in the States, but this is one I've been waiting for a while. Dan Waters and Danny on this one. This is called Arkham City, The Order of the World. This is going to be a 6-issue mini-series, and this just looks utterly fantastic. So it does. This is one of the titles I'm most excited about this week. I ordered quite big on it. I love that they've went with the Arkham Asylum type vibe as well, with the font and how it's been put together. And I'm a big fan of Danny's art. So looking forward to that. Next up, we have probably the biggest Batman, sort of Batman-based title of the week. Arkham City is going to be focusing more on Arkham and on some of the inmates from Arkham Asylum and so forth. But this one is Batman the Imposter. This is going to be a 3-issue miniseries written by Mattson Tomlin, who I believe is contributing to the Batman script, coming out soon. But the main selling point for me is Andrea Sorrentino on art and Jordi Belair on colours. So Andrea Sorrentino, the artist from Gideon Falls, big fan. This is going to be a 3-issue Prestige series, Black Label series, but this is the regular size Black Label. This isn't your Prestige Plus, which is your larger magazine size format. Next up, a little bit more Batman. We have Batman The Animated Adventures Continue. We're up to season 2 on this. This is going to be the start of a 2-issue arc, I believe. And I'm, anything animated series, yep, sign me up. Next issue is out this week as well of Batman Urban Legends. They seem to be going more to the self-contained individual stories, which I really like. I thoroughly enjoyed Chip's sojourn through with the Chip Zdarsky Batman, Jason Todd, Red Hood story, which was great, split into 6 parts. But I also like ones that you can pick up, almost like annuals, where it's 4 individual one-shot stories. So that's the latest issue there. Also have Future State Gotham. We're hitting issue 6 of this, so Joshua Williamson is back on board here. Dennis Culver writing as well. I've really enjoyed Future State Gotham. It's good to see the Future State stuff being kept alive. And then we're about to hit probably two of the most anticipated titles this week, so both from James Tynion. So James Tinian the fourth and Gail March on art. We're up to issue 8 of Joker. Of course, you've got your Punchline backups there as well, which James Tinian's writing as well. Joker, one of the best DC books on the shelf. Trade's not too far away for the first rack of that. But yeah, nice House on the Lake. Issue 5. Cannot say it enough if you're not on it. Easily one of the best comics out there at the moment from any company. And looking forward to tucking into that. We're coming to the end of Strange Adventures. So this is the Tom Keane, Mitch Gerads, Evan Doc Shaner sci-fi epic. I love the design of the cover because it's basically papering over the original Strange Adventures cover that had Adam Strange on the cover. They've even went to the little detail of, the printed one, but then the sort of scratched on, written in pen, number 2, which I think is really cool. That's the end of that, and then there's a hardcover on the way before the end of the year, I believe, which will contain all 12 issues. Also, the last issue this week of Superman and the Authority. We're up to number 4 of it. So Grant Morrison, Mikael Yannon. This looks like it's going to link as well to Action Comics and so forth. So keep an eye out for that interconnectivity there. Issue 2 then this week of Titans United. Loved issue 1 from Kevin Scott and Jose Luis. Very old school Titans action. Very bright and colourful. Just very evocative of a bygone era. This was actually out a couple of weeks ago, but I'm just getting my copy now. Amazing Fantasy, we're up to issue 3. Been loving this sort of alternate take on classic Marvel heroes. Captain America, Black Widow, Spider-Man. Again, it was from a few weeks ago, so that's just me getting my copy now, getting caught up. Amazing Spider-Man 76. I've been looking for a point to jump back on Spider-Man. Nick Spencer's run was a wee bit up and down for me. There was some great stuff in it. Loved Hunted, for example. But then I went into the Spider-Man 2099 stuff. I wasn't sold. And then it was a bit up and down, but I've heard loads of great reports from other people who love it. But I was looking for a jumping on point again, and I read 75 last week and thought it was fantastic. It's picking up in the aftermath of Spencer's run. It's reintroducing Ben Reilly back into the Spider-Man universe, but Peter's not in a very good way with issue 76. 75 is worth picking up alone just for that Patrick Gleason art. It is glorious. Some indie stuff now for me. So this is a miracle that this actually exists. Chilling Adventures of Sabrina is one of my favorite horror books. Totally dark take on Sabrina. None of this, cookie cutter Archie Comics type stuff. This is dark adult horror. And issue 9 is now back to the single issue. So very timely as well. Obviously Halloween coming up. We've got Blade Runner Origins. We're up to issue 7 of this. Again, this has been a great book looking at the origins of the actual Blade Runners, the Tyrell Corporation, all that stuff, all pre the first movie. This was a cool wee first issue from Vault Comics. We're up to issue 2 now of Deadbox from Mark Russell, who you may know from Second Coming, and he's done a lot of DC work as well. But issue 2 of that. We have a one-shot from AWA titles. It's a Jan-sized debut special. 2 pulse-pounding, galaxy-spanning tales of true universal healthcare, E.T., ER. Anything AWA I always jump on board for. This was a big selling number 1 for us, and the feedback on it's been very, very strong as well. So, He Who Fights with Monsters, we pushed it quite a lot from Ablaze Comics. Werther Della Dera on art, of course, the artist of Something is Killing the Children. Francesco Artabiani. Really good writing as well, looking at World War II, but instead of always focusing on, the Germans part on it, and the Nazis and so forth, it's focusing on the Russians. Really enjoyed that first issue. A new James Bond issue kicks off this week, James Bond Himeros. This is a beautiful Francesco Francavilla cover, just looks like a movie poster to me. If you haven't seen James Bond No Time to Die, get on it. Very impressed with that as well. Good time to be a Bond fan. We're up to issue 2 now of Jeff Lemire's Maze book. If you listen to the podcast at all, you'll hear me go into great detail on issue 1, which was my pick of the week. It came out. Now we're on to issue 2, and again, it's an oversized, double-sized Jeff Lemire issue. Couple left just to finish off with. So from Kyle Higgins, we have Ordinary Gods. We're up to issue 4 of this. Again, I'm teetering on the edge with this a bit. There's good parts in it. There's parts that don't really grab me just with the volume I'm reading. But I'm going to stick with it for the entirety of the first arc at the very least. A title I have banged on about quite substantially though, and trade won't be far away. 6 Sidekicks of Trigger Keaton. Brilliant stuff, looking through the era of television, the 80s, the 90s, child actors in Hollywood, how they're treated, how actors are somehow sometimes above the law, etc., etc. Really, really good book. When that hits trade, we'll be pushing it quite a lot, I'd say. And then we just finish off with the J. Michael Straczynski, Steve Epting Telepaths, which again, 6-issue miniseries from AWA, up to issue 2 of that. Really dug issue 1 as well. So yeah, so that's my pull list for this week. This is all covering releases that are due out on the 13th of October. So plenty of great stuff. Again, loads of cool stuff come in this week as well. Check out the just arrived in new this week section of the Coffin Heroes Network as well. So as ever, anything appeals to you, just get in touch, guys. We'll do our best to the hold things over if necessary, or source things if we need to. But pull lists are always the way forward. If there's titles you know that are coming out, get them on that pull list, and therefore you're guaranteed copies and you'll never miss an issue. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope it proved useful as always, and I look forward to seeing you in store soon. So take it easy.